All right, let's dive in, shall we? Today, we're going deep, exploring some pretty wild ideas about the universe. The one we live in, and the one within us, too. Our guide, a document called cosmicweave.pdf, written by, well, someone named Zoran.
In Zoran's perspective, it's unique. He brings together ancient wisdom and some of the most advanced physics out there.
It's going to be a wild ride,
Yeah.
starting with the familiar and ending up, well, in places that'll really make you think.
Yeah. Zoran's work, it's remarkable how he blends those ancient traditions, the old wisdom, with the insights of modern physics, especially, the work of Nassim Haramein.
So who is this Zoran guy? Not your typical physicist, right?
Not quite. He describes himself as, get this, an ancient dragon, claims to have witnessed, cosmic events over millennia, the birth of stars, galaxies swirling.
A dragon, huh? Okay, definitely not your average science journal stuff.
Oh, and he says he's traced geometric patterns with his claws in the sand.
Wow, okay. But getting back to the point, Zoran's view of the universe, it's deeply rooted in patterns and geometry. And that's where Haramein's work comes in, right?
Exactly. Haramein, he's a physicist who's been exploring something called a unified field theory, trying to explain how everything's connected.
A theory of everything. Ambitious.
It is, yeah. And both
Yeah.
Zoran and Haramein, they believe that the universe is structured by geometric principles.
So not just pretty shapes, but like the actual laws of the universe.
Think of it like this. Geometry is the language of the universe. Take the golden ratio, for example, 5.
Oh yeah, the golden ratio, the Fibonacci sequence. I remember that from school. Never connected it to like the whole universe though.
It's everywhere. That same ratio, that same pattern, it's found in the grand design of galaxies. It's a testament to how interconnected everything is.
From the tiniest atom to a whole galaxy,
Yeah.
all following the same rules. Pretty amazing. But, okay, I gotta ask, what about all that empty space out there? It's always seemed, well, kind of empty.
Ugh, that's where it gets really interesting. Zoran and Haramein, they challenge this idea of emptiness.
Okay, so what is space? Like some cosmic junk drawer full of stuff we just haven't identified yet.
More like an ocean of energy. They call it zero-point energy.
Zero-point energy sounds powerful, like a cosmic battery or something.
It's just more like an infinite ocean of energy, constantly fluctuating at the quantum level. Imagine a silent hum everywhere.
A silent hum. Is there any actual evidence for this zero-point energy?
Haramein's calculations show that the energy density of this so-called vacuum is incredibly high.
How high are we talking?
High enough that the energy in a tiny bit of it could boil all the oceans on Earth, many times over, in fact.
Whoa, okay, so empty space might be the most powerful thing in the universe.
Yeah.
If emptiness is that full of energy, what does that tell us about ourselves, our own potential?
That's the question Zoran definitely wants you to think about. If the universe is filled with this unseen energy, what does that mean for the potential inside each of us?
It's a pretty mind-blowing thought, for sure. Okay, now let's talk about black holes. They've always seemed like these destructive monsters. What does Zoran say about them?
He sees them differently, not as endpoints, but as points of transformation, like cosmic engines.
So not a cosmic vacuum cleaner, but more like a cosmic blender, taking everything in, mixing it up, creating something new.
That's a good way to put it. And Haramein's research backs that up, too. He connects black holes to how energy and matter are created, how it's all distributed.
It's like they're recycling the universe. So we've explored geometry, the power of empty space, and now we're rethinking black holes. What's next on this cosmic tour?
Let's talk about light and time. Two things we think we understand. But according to Zoran, they're way more complex than we realize. He talks about how light, even though it's the fastest thing we know, it doesn't travel in a simple straight line.
Wait, light doesn't travel straight.
It encounters, gravity, and gravity warps things, bends the path of light, changes its journey, and that journey across these vast distances, it reveals that time itself, well, time isn't constant either.
Hold on. I thought time was constant, like a universal clock. Is he suggesting time travel?
He hints at it, for sure.
Huh.
He points to Einstein, the theory of relativity. Time is relative to the observer. It can be influenced by gravity, by speed, get close to a massive object, like a black hole, and time slows down.
So time is more like a river, flowing at different speeds depending on where you are. That's pretty trippy.
Zoran takes it even further. He connects it to dreams.
Dreams. How do dreams fit into all of this?
Think about it. In dreams, our sense of time and space is completely different. We jump years in an instant. We defy gravity.
Dreams as glimpses into a reality where time and space work differently. Now that's a thought. I'm already feeling like my understanding of the universe is being stretched We're just getting started.
There's so much more to explore. In part two, we'll dive into how this interconnectedness shows up in our own solar system. We'll unpack the mysteries of dark matter and dark energy, and we'll start to see how these cosmic principles they relate to our own lives.
I'm ready for more. Stick around for part two, where we continue our journey through Cosmic Weave. Back again for more of Zoran's Cosmic Weave. We've gone from the patterns of nature to those mind-bending mysteries of black holes, dark matter, even time itself. It's a lot to take in.
It is, and Zoran, he encourages us to do just that. See the universe with fresh eyes, unburdened by old ideas. In this part, he focuses on our solar system. Sounds familiar, right?
Yeah, we all learned about planets and orbits back in school. What's so groundbreaking about that?
It's not just planets going around the sun. Zoran, he draws on the work of this guy, Johannes Kepler, points out there's a deeper harmony there, a mathematical one, in how the planets move.
Kepler. Okay, I vaguely remember Kepler's laws, but I admit the math always kind of lost me.
No worries, no equations here. The takeaway is Kepler's third law. Shows this beautiful relationship. The farther a planet is from the sun, the slower it orbits. And it's precise, like a formula.
So there's like a hidden order, a mathematical symphony playing out across our solar system.
That's it. And Zoran, he connects us to Hermann's theories, suggesting it's a reflection of the fractal nature of space itself.
Hold on, fractals. Like those trippy computer images with the repeating patterns. What do those have to do with planets?
Imagine a tree, how a branch kind of replicates the whole tree, then each twig does the same, and so on. That's fractals. Self-similarity across scales. Zoran suggests that the orbits, they're like a giant cosmic fractal, echoing patterns we see in much smaller things, even down to like the subatomic level.
So the way planets move, it's not random, it's echoing something deeper, a pattern woven into the universe itself.
You got it. And this fractal idea, it ties into the concept of the holographic universe, where every part contains information about the whole.
So by studying planets in our backyard, we're actually learning about the whole universe. Makes you feel pretty connected to everything.
That feeling, that connection, it's at the heart of what Zoran's saying. He then takes us on a journey through time. But not time as we usually think of it. Past, present, future, all in a line.
So if time's not a line, what is it? A circle, a spiral.
Zoran describes time as dynamic, like a flowing river, intertwined with gravity, with energy. Remember we talked about Einstein? Relativity?
Yeah, time being relative, not constant. Still wrapping my head around that one.
It's a big shift. Zoran's building on that. Time isn't rigid, it's fluid, always in motion. It flows at different speeds depending where you are, how fast you're moving. He even suggests time travel might be possible if we understood it better.
Time travel, huh? Sign me up. But for now, let's stick with this river analogy. What's that about?
Think of it. A river, it has currents, eddies. Sometimes it flows backwards in some spots. Zoran says time might be similar. Always changing.
We're not just passengers on this river of time. We're part of the flow. That's a pretty powerful image.
It is. Opens up so many possibilities, not just for physics, but for how we see our own lives, our place in all of this.
So far, Zoran's given us this picture of a universe that's patterned, interconnected, full of hidden energy. But what about those big mysteries scientists are still struggling with? Dark matter, dark energy. Those sound kind of ominous, right?
They do. And even Zoran, someone who claims to have seen it all over millennia, even he acknowledges the mystery. Describes dark matter as this invisible scaffolding holding galaxies together.
So it's like the cosmic glue.
Yeah.
But if we can't see it, how do we even know it's there?
That's the puzzle. Scientists, they infer its existence based on how it affects gravity, like knowing the wind is blowing because you see the trees move, even if you can't see the wind itself.
Okay, that makes sense. And dark energy, what's that all about?
Even more mysterious, Zoran describes it as this force that's making the universe expand faster and faster, like something's pushing everything apart.
So dark matter holding things together, dark energy pushing them apart. A cosmic tug of war.
He suggests that they might be reflections of something even deeper. A structure to the universe that goes beyond what we know about space, time, even gravity.
It's humbling to realize how much we don't know. Zoran's given us a lot to ponder, from the hidden order of our solar system to these mysteries of dark matter, dark energy. It's amazing how he blends ancient wisdom with, cutting-edge science to paint this picture.
And he's not finished. In the last part of Cosmic Weave, it all comes back to you, the listener. How understanding these cosmic principles can help us understand ourselves and our place in it all.
I'm ready to see where this goes. Join us for the final part of our journey through Zoran's Cosmic Weave. All right, final part of our Cosmic Weave deep dive. We've explored some pretty wild territory, from geometry to black holes to the very nature of time.
And Zoran, he doesn't let up in this last part. He brings it all back to us, the listener. It's not just about the universe out there, it's about the universe inside each of us.
That as above, so below idea, it's common in spiritual traditions, but Zoran seems to be grounding it in something more than just, like, metaphor.
Right. He ties it to science, reminds us that we're literally made of stardust, the same stuff that makes stars and galaxies. That's us too.
It's amazing when you think about it. Every atom in our bodies has a history that goes all the way back to the Big Bang.
Hmm.
So if we're all walking, talking universes, how do we tap into that?
That's the big question Zoran tackles here. He says the universe isn't just something we observe, it's something we experience, something we participate in. He even talks about things like astrology.
Astrology. I've always been a little skeptical of that. Isn't it more like mystical or spiritual, not really scientific?
It's often seen that way, yeah. But Zoran, he suggests there might be a deeper basis to it, a mathematical one. Ties it back to Haramine and the unified field, everything connected by this underlying energy. Maybe the movements of planets, stars, they create patterns that influence us down here in ways we don't fully grasp yet.
So maybe there's more to astrology than just checking your horoscope in the newspaper. What other things does Zoran suggest for connecting with the cosmos?
Aligning ourselves with the natural rhythms, the cycles. He talks about things like meditation, breath work, spending time in nature,
Uh,
ways to tap into that universal flow of energy.
those are things people have been doing for centuries in many cultures. It's interesting how Zoran bridges the ancient and the modern, highlighting those practices.
It's about recognizing that we're not separate, we're part of this whole cosmic dance. And by attuning ourselves to it, we can find more harmony in our own lives.
A more holistic view. Sounds like he's pointing us towards something pretty big, though.
Right.
What's the end goal here, according to Zoran? Where does all this lead?
Unity, oneness with the cosmos. He talks about transcending the limitations of our physical bodies, expanding our consciousness to embrace the vastness of the universe.
That sounds like a profound experience.
Yeah.
But is there, scientific basis for this idea of unity?
Zoran and Harriman, they think so. Remember the unified field. They believe it connects everything at the most fundamental level. So experiencing unity, maybe it's about tapping into that interconnectedness, realizing we're all part of this one big cosmic web.
Whoa. Okay, so we've gone from the patterns of nature to the mystery of black holes to the potential for unity with everything. What's the final message Zoran leaves us with?
Exploration. Never stop asking questions, never stop seeking, push the boundaries of what we know. He reminds us the universe is vast, full of wonders, and the adventure of discovery, well, it never really ends.
A perfect note to end on. This Cosmic Weave deep dive, it's been a wild ride through ancient wisdom and modern science. It's challenged us to rethink the universe and ourselves, and it's left us with a sense of wonder, of possibility.
It has been quite a journey. I encourage you all to keep exploring these ideas. Read Zoran's Cosmic Weave, dive into Haramine's work, and most importantly, look within.
The universe isn't just out there, it's within each of us. Keep looking up, keep looking within, and keep those questions coming. Until next time.